Hello, everybody. I am excited to introduce to you another one of our Women Rocking Ministry Conference speakers. This is Ann Meyer, and she's going to be one of our panelists. And we were just joking about a wide variety of things about ministry. And so I really wanted all of our speakers to be able to have an opportunity to talk a little bit about themselves because during the conference, time's going to go by really, really fast. And so Anne works for a radio station, and there's a lot of things about radio stations that typically we don't know a lot about. And so really I want to let Anne kind of describe to you what it is that she does. So Anne, take it away.
All right. Well, I am the director of ministry and I'm with Salem Media Group. So we have three stations here. One is The Fish, which is contemporary Christian music, and one is The Word, which is Christian teaching talk format, and then The Answer, which is a conservative talk format. And I am really overseeing KFIA AM 710 and 105.7 FM, and that's The Word. And so we are a platform that has ministries get the word out. So you can tune in and you can hear biblical counseling from Focus on the Family, Family Life Today, New Life Live, call in for counseling questions, or there's national and local ministries. So you can hear great people that you know for national ministries all day long, and then local too. So you can tune in to find a local church or just be blessed and be discipled and just filled with the word of God all day.
Yeah, that sounds really awesome. I mean, it sounds like to know that every day that you're going to go to work to do part of that, it has to feel good. Absolutely. And I've been in your office and I know like on your whiteboard, it has this like calendar of a gazillion things going on. So are you like when you what is all that all about?
Well, there's the programming. I do the programming. So I help promote the national ministries, and I also get talk to local pastors and put their sermons on the air. And so that board shows my schedule basically. And then I also do national donor campaigns such as Food for the Poor and Save the Children and Cross International and things like that. I negotiate those with the national people, and they they're on all of our stations. So then I run those on The Fish and The Answer and The Word. So there's a lot of different things that come with this, but it's really great. I was in television for 20 years, and the Carl's Jr. dripping ads were on the air, and we were getting calls of that, and I was negotiating Family Guy and The Simpsons, and I looked up and I said, God, if I could fill my head with something of knowing what you're doing around the world instead of what every television station is airing, I would be most grateful. And he opened this door for me. So I was delighted.
That is
Yeah.
amazing. That is really amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a major shift for sure.
Yeah.
So I know that. Oh, I was going to mention this, and hopefully it's okay with you. But I interviewed Penelope Larry earlier today,
Mhm.
and her birthday is this Friday or Saturday, and she's going to be 60. And then my birthday is the following um, Wednesday, and I'm going to be 60. And your birthday is right.
Sunday, and I'm going to
Yes.
be 50. Yeah, you can mention that.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
not fair.
yeah. Well, God did it. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. There's a lot of March birthdays.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd mention. I thought that was kind of just funny. And so for your birthday, you get to go off and go golfing. Yes,
Yes. Yep. My favorite thing to do these days. Yeah.
good, nice. And
Yeah.
so when you think about how you ended up there, you could see God's hand in all of that. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even want to be in radio. When you're in television, radio is kind of, oh no, I'm in television. But I actually went off to go on a mission trip. I went to Israel for 2 weeks with Chuck Swindoll, that tour with some friends, and then went off to Africa to do mission work for 2 months. And in that, I really didn't want to come back. I wanted there to be something over there for me. But right before I left, the gal that was here, she was retiring after 30 years. And she said, Ann, you're perfect. What you do in television is exactly what you do here, only with pastors. And so I know programming, I know vertical and horizontal programming. I know how to do all the production and work with production department and how the system works for ordering spots. And it was so easy, and that's exactly what I prayed for. I had no idea there was even a job like this.
Wow.
And I didn't really even want it, and she said you're perfect and brought me in. And the general manager said, well, I'm not going to interview you until a few months down the road, because she's not leaving. And I said, oh, that's fine. I didn't even know what he was really talking about, but she planned something. And so I went back and I called back and I said, I'm going to be leaving for almost 3 months. And if you want to talk, maybe we should. So I went down that Friday, and he said, he interviewed me and he said, come back the next Friday. And then I did. And he said, I'm not going to hire you now, but you're perfect. And he said, don't go anywhere. And I said, you don't either. But I really wanted to go. I want to go live in Africa. But there was nothing for me over there. So God took all my 20 years in media and he used it for his glory. And it was interesting because I was really born again. Let's see, probably 6 years before I got this job. I was raised in a Christian home, believed in Jesus, but didn't really have that relationship. So when that happened, it really changed, things I wanted and desired. So, see, I had another point I was going to go to with that.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's
Okay.
interesting
All
how
right. I'm
God.
60. All right. I'm not 50.
I was gonna say, does she fess up or not?
Yeah, I fessed up. I forgot something. Yeah. So anyway, it was just a real blessing how God used that. And that's what he does, right? I know what I was going to say is that, I thought, because I was in, torment selling, 2.5 Men and, all these programs. And I just thought, God, you have to have something better for me than this. Well, so I felt like being a new Christian, felt like, God, you're not listening to my prayers. I want something, shouldn't I get it? Kind of thing. Or, are you listening to me, or are my sins too heavy that, you aren't going to provide? But certainly he had to train me that. And he also had to train me to be a warrior, because I said, I want to be a Christian warrior. Well, I had no idea what warfare was, right? So I had to learn about that. And I did that. I was Operation Christmas Child. I was the regional media director for that. And so I took one of my clients and I was golfing with him, and I asked him, it was a lawyer, it was on all the stations. And I said, can we take all your bonus spots on all the stations and create a Operation Christmas Child commercial and put it on? And he said by the end of the golf round, I had him like crying over, because he wasn't really even, he didn't have faith. And so he said,
Oh,
don't
wow.
do that. You're hurting me. And he said, if you contact all the television stations, I'll do it. And so I did. I created a 30-second commercial, got them on TV. I can't tell you the warfare I had, but I didn't know even what it was. So somebody helped me through that.
That is
But
awesome. That is
yeah,
so awesome. I think the one thing that I wanted to let people know, it's kind of a side note. So Ann and I met at City Pastors Fellowship with one of
much.
our other panelists. And I remember one of the times that we were there, she gets to interview and gets to interview people, pastors on the radio. And you don't interview them, but you get the people to be interviewed. And so she'll go to these city pastor fellowship things, and there's a new pastor who walks up and she's like, "Oh, are you new in town?" And he's like, "Yeah." And she goes, "Would you like to be on the radio?" And he's like, "Well, yeah." So she has this job where she gets to just walk up to people and they all say yes. And I'm like, I want a job like that where I can just walk up to people and say, "Would you like what I have to offer?" And they go, "Yes." So yeah, I just thought I think about that all. This is so funny. Yeah. Yeah.
I remembered you standing there in your face and you're like, oh my goodness. And yeah, yeah, people like TV and radio, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I do once in a while have a pastor say, that's really not my thing. They're just too uncomfortable or what have you. Or they don't want to promote themselves or what have you. But I offer Church of the Week as just something to give back to the community, really, because I started here almost 14 years ago, and I saw we were a pay for play is what I call it. And so I wanted to really give back. And so this is a way I can highlight a church, and it also helps connect the listener to the local church, and hear what God's doing all around. And it's just fascinating, the different stories. So I love it. They come in and I get to talk to them for 30, 40 minutes, and then I take them in to be interviewed. And my favorite question is, what's God talking to you about these days? And, so it's wonderful.
No,
Yeah.
that's really awesome. Well, everybody, I just hope that you've enjoyed hearing a little bit more about Ann, and that as you tune in, just a couple weeks from now, actually, that you'll get to see people, understand them all a little bit better about where they're coming from as they share their insights with you, and know that they're coming from a place of experience. So I will see you guys later.
All right. I look forward to
Okay.
it too.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Goodbye.